Hello, welcome on in everyone. New World is finally out and I've scrounged together my first PvP build. And well, I chose the Ice Gauntlet and the Rapier. I had a tough choice between the Ice Gauntlet and the Fire Staff. Both are excellent weapons for solo PvP, but the amount of control that the Ice Gauntlet can put out, plus the damage on top of it, I think I had to pick this one. It is so much fun to use, and you can just lock players down with it. And as a big plus, it's an intelligence scaling weapon, so you can pretty much use it with any combo and an intelligence scaling gem on your off weapon. So I've got a few clips I wanted to share with you guys. I hope that you enjoy them. And of course, if you guys want to see a build video to this build, there's a link down below in the description. And I'm going to be updating this build for everybody too. Now that I've gone the crafting route, which I never did in the beta because honestly I didn't want to invest that much into my character, I will actually be able to make proper builds that actually mirror what an endgame build would have trait-wise and ability-wise with perks and stuff like that. So I'm pretty happy about the crafting route, and I'm excited to continue to flesh out this build for everybody and share it in the near future. Now, without further ado, let's get right into that PvP commentary. As you guys can see, I ran into a couple purple players here, and I decided to attack them. They actually ran past me, but I was not about to let them go. And I managed to get a big combo with the Rapier on the enemy healer there that's a little bit higher level and take him down. And then right away throw the Ice Shower down, get a great snare and immobilize on that player. He tries to walk outside of it, the Ice Storm on top, go for the gap close through, and some Rapier heavy attacks. He's got the sword and shield, so I'm actually just going with those heavy attacks right away so we can try to break his block, but he's got his hatchet out as he tries to escape there. I think his best bet would have been to turn and block and try to go for a counter stun, but we were able to bring him down. Now, moving on to the next fight here, this was actually a really long fight. Shortly after that, I ran into these two guys, and I fought them for quite a bit of time, to the point that the beginning of this clip is kind of in the middle of the fight. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get it for you guys. But the enemy players here are both kind of on mage builds, and they're putting a lot of damage into me. So I go for the target shift to the level 9 here, and put some good damage into him. He does not have a heal or anything, so he's unable to kind of recover from that, and we quickly bring him down. During the beginning of the fight, I just didn't target him because I wanted to deal with the higher level player, but I definitely should have gone for him right away. And now you can see we're fighting against this enemy fire mage, and he's got an Ice Gauntlet too. And this guy actually plays really well. I had a pretty tough time fighting him because he had quite a lot of damage at a distance, and the Rapier Ice Gauntlet combo isn't super great at fighting a predominantly ranged opponent. So yeah, his Fire Staff really hurt. Eventually what happens though is the level 9 ends up coming back. Another player ended up running in here too to help out just for a moment, but she ran off. And then I was just left again with this guy and the level 9. And you can see I moved to some different terrain here, but this guy with the Fire Staff is putting some incredible pressure on me. And I'm just doing my best to try to avoid as much damage as possible. Using those bushes to LOS a little bit. They can't see your symbol through the bush, so it's easier to hit the opponent. And I throw down the Ice Shower as the one player is chasing me around the corner. At minimum, I force him to move a little bit of extra distance around that corner, and I try to go for a combo right away on the lower level player. Unfortunately, the other higher level player hits me with his snare there on the Ice Gauntlet. I take a bit of damage from it, and the slow makes it difficult for me to stay on top of the low level player, and now I'm just getting blasted at a distance again. And again, I use the bushes just to LOS as best as possible where we don't have any solid terrain. Throw down the Ice Shower just to force them to move a little bit, and I make it to the tent here. Jump on top of the level 9. Huge damage with that heavy attack backstab, taking out about half his hit points. Now, the battle scaling was actually adjusted to be a lot less reliant on level, and in that situation, I think we did so much damage because at level 9, he likely didn't even have a full set of gear on. So yeah, poor guy. Needless to say, this is the guy that we are worried about. This is the guy that hurts and is playing well against us. Eventually, I managed to catch him lower hit points here, forcing him into the Ice Tomb. And I'm just going to feed him heavy attacks as he's in that Ice Tomb, hoping that he busts out and goes for a roll. He actually holds block into the Ice Gauntlet snare. He does a great job locking me down, and I'm too slow to switch to the Ice Gauntlet. and he manages to break distance again. And in this fight, I actually ran out of potions too, so both me and him are using just food to stay alive, doing our best to kite the opponent, and I'm having a really tough time hitting him with my ranged attacks effectively. Did get the crit with my Ice Gauntlet, so that gives us the bleed, and he goes for the Fire Staff AoE, and we managed to just evade right into that and hit him with the Elite attack to finish him off. An excellent fight to that Fire Staff player. That was a very, very difficult fight for me. And now moving on to our next fight. So this was actually earlier than the fight you guys just saw, but I was doing some PvP missions, getting those faction tokens because I do think I'm going to pick up the level 25 faction Rapier for my build. And I run out here to go do them. The first player I run into, an enemy with a spear, do a great job trapping him in our Immobilize into the Ice Storm, and just kind of kiting around him here, getting really good damage into him, avoiding all of his attacks. Fantastic riposte stun on his incoming stun to counter it. And this player right away is on the back foot. He goes for a good counter stun there with his pole vault attack. I throw down the Ice Shower, hoping he'll jump inside of it. Unfortunately, he hits me with the stun, but I roll through the Ice Shower, and he falls for the bait, going into the snare, trapping himself in that huge amount of AoE, and then just a Flesh to finish him off. I don't have my Rapier leveled up, so the Flesh has its backstab yet. I really want to get that. It's going to be a huge help, especially for finishing opponents off. But anyway, moving on to the next fight. I managed to get all of my PvP missions done, and as soon as I finished the last one, of course, we got 3 purple players that come at me here. And, well, I start by engaging with them and attacking, doing my best to kind of put damage into the first player, but right away, I got to go on the back foot a little bit. A good riposte, getting a counter stun on them as they come in there, and I don't want to try to just retreat this whole fight. I definitely want to turn and try to put some damage into these guys as often as I can. A great snare trap with the Ice Gauntlet, and we get good damage on the Ice Storm as well, but I myself take quite a bit of damage from that Great Axe player, and I'm forced to back up just a little bit more. Go for a nice riposte again, a good heavy attack, and I kind of choke and go for 2 rolls in a row. If those players had been a little quicker to turn around, that would have been a very dangerous move. And then I throw down the Ice Storm right away. Don't actually really use it for anything there. Kind of a wasted cast. I don't think that was the best move, but that's okay. We go for the next big AoE here, and just kind of to force these guys out of the area. And you guys can see in this fight, even when our opponents have some ranged weapons, the Ice Gauntlet does an excellent job zoning our opponents and preventing them from getting too close to us. Again, we throw down that Ice Shower, get a great Immobilize on the Battle Axe player that's coming in. Go for the Flesh through that player. Really wish I had the backstab there. We could have actually capitalized a little more on that combo. But I find myself getting absolutely smacked by that Great Axe pull and then hit in a nasty little stun combo. Just get out of it with the roll, and then we throw down the Ice Snare there into the Ice Storm just to try to give ourselves a little bit more space. I'm not actively drinking my potion or my regen potion right now. The reason is that these guys are not using a ton of ranged attacks, so if they're not going to hit me with a lot of ranged stuff, I can just use my food to heal up quite a lot during the fight. And you guys can see I'm pretty reluctant. I don't want to go for those potions. Plus, I know that if something bad happens, I will regret it big time if I have the potion on cooldown and I didn't need to use it versus the food. So yeah, still using our Ice Gauntlet to zone these guys as best as we can and just trying to get behind them with our limited Rapier backstab capabilities at the moment. A good little kind of heavy attack into the riposte. And a fun thing about riposte, you can actually cancel any move into a riposte. It works kind of like evade in the way that it cancels, which makes it an incredibly smooth weapon if you want to go for a heavy attack exchange with your opponent and make sure they take the butt end of all that damage. So yeah, like it a lot for that reason, but still doing our best to kind of kite these guys out. They have switched to using a lot more ranged weapons on me, and this is where I think the Ice Gauntlet can really struggle. If your opponents are using predominantly ranged attacks, your snares and immobilizes become a lot less effective at countering them. Super lucky he goes for the Gravity Well, and my Entombed just came off of cooldown at the last moment there. These guys are trying to put a lot of damage into me as I drop down the side, throw down the Ice Storm. We managed to catch 2 players with it, get a decent amount of damage with that AoE again, and it's doing good damage to these purple players. They are using items to heal up though, so without the consistent pressure, I think we will have a hell of a time trying to take one of them down, and I just back up a little bit here, trying to spread them out, give myself a little bit of space, and see if we can get some cooldowns back. We got all of our abilities ready. Go for the Ice Storm. Unfortunately, the player stuns me right as I use, the Ice Shower there. He still gets immobilized by it, and I throw down the Ice Storm on top. Really good damage into him, and he ends up running away. I go for the Rapier Gap Close to try to stay on top of him, but unfortunately, it didn't work out, and we get the Gravity Well on top of us again. Back into the Entombed, a fantastic counter to that skill. And that poor Ice Storm, oh, it didn't go where I wanted it to. That's okay. We just walk back through it. Even if we don't put the Ice Shower in the best location, as long as we ourselves use it and walk through it like that, the opponents can't walk through that. So we can use that little bit of an advantage. And here we've got the Great Axe player very low on hit points. I try to go for the combo, but get punished really bad for attempting it. These guys have got a lot of stuns. There we see the Gravity Well come in again. And my Entombed, I'm literally just using to counter these guys' Gravity Well. I don't know why I sit in that Entombed, honestly. I didn't have to, but hey, sometimes you gotta take a breather. Throw down a fantastic Ice Shower. This time we get everybody with it. The Ice Storm on top. Beautiful heavy attack into the spear player there, get good damage, and you see the cancel off of that next heavy into the riposte, quickly turning around and countering the axe player that's behind us. And then a little bit of a kite here. That one player with the gun is definitely my concern. They throw another Gravity Well. My Entomb is not ready yet, but we have the Rapier Gap Closer, and go for it. There's the Ice Shower, and like I said, we didn't hit anybody with it, but I just walk right back through it, and you can see that's going to just force these guys to go a little bit of extra distance. In this game and PvP melee fighting in general, spacing is incredibly important, so every little move you can make like that actually has quite the impact on buying you the time you need. That was a pretty bad riposte, definitely not reading the opponent very well there, but you know, that's the way she goes. Now, I'm going to let you guys enjoy the last bit of this fight, and there's one more clip for you guys at the end. As we say our goodbyes, again, check this build out. There's a link down below to it, and you can find a written guide to this link on pvpnewworld.com. You can check me out on Twitch if you guys want to catch some live gameplay. I will be live a lot now. New World's finally come out. I got my PvP build ready. We're going to do some PvP. Give me a follow on Twitter if you guys want to keep up to date with me. And of course, I want to do a top 5 battle series for New World. If you have an awesome clip that you want to send into the channel to be featured, you can send that to Christopher@pvpnewworld.com. Best of luck to you guys. If you guys are interested in joining the company, I'm on the NA West Yggdrasil server. I'm playing on the Covenant, and my character name is Or. The company name is Open World PvP. Everybody is welcome to join. Just add me in-game and let me know that you're interested in joining, and I'll throw you an invite. We are sponsored by What the Fast. They're a VPN to gamers. If you get bad ping to your favorite games, including New World, What the Fast might be able to give you a better connection. It's free to try for the first month. A link down below in the description for you guys. And last but not least, a massive thank you and shout out to all of my patrons on Patreon. Without you guys, I couldn't do this, so thank you so much for supporting. Thank you everybody for tuning in and watching today. Look forward to more in the future. As always, I hope you all enjoyed. Have a great night, everyone, and I'll see you next time.